up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy. I'm one half of the Brothers Murph, and this is You Can Solo That? You Can Solo That is a series where I go through all the games on our shelves behind here that have solo variants, and I solo them for you, and I talk about what I think about them. I quite enjoy solo games, about 100% because of this series. It's really changed my mind about it, which is awesome. And the game we're going to talk about today is a game that honestly I didn't have much hope for. And the reason for that is because as I've sold a whole bunch of different games, I have learned just off a base look whether or not it's going to be good or not. I'm sometimes wrong, but usually in this case right here, it has a giant rule book, and then about this much of one page is like solo variant at the very end of the rule book. And usually when the solo variant is like a half a page or only a couple paragraphs, that solo variant sucks. And so I didn't have much hope for this one, but a lot of people said this one was really, really good, so I did want to give it a try. And the game I'm talking about is A Feast for Odin. A Feast for Odin is a wonderful giant worker placement game with like 65 different spots for your workers. It is the epitome of massive open choice kind of worker placement game by Uwe Rosenberg and Z-Man Games. It is my third favorite game of all time. It is Mike's favorite game of all time. We love it, love it, love it. And it has a solo variant, but the solo variant is about this much of one page of that giant rule book. So I was like, I don't think it's going to be very good. But this series is all about trying stuff and seeing how it pans out. Now, I will say, as I always say, as a disclaimer on all these videos, that I am just talking about what is different in the solo game. When I go over the gameplay, I'm not explaining the entire game. There are a ton of other people who will do that way, way better than me. I'm just talking about what's different in the solo game. So, let's crack open the box, let's get it down to the table, and see how the game solos. Alrighty. Oh, wait. I didn't do like a bit. I always have like a bit on these You Can Solo That's. Uwe, Vikings, Uwe. You know what? I need Other Nick. Other Nick is way, way better than me at this. I need Other Nick! Hey, what's up? Do we have a bit? Nah, I couldn't think of one. Oh, what are we supposed to do? I don't know. You don't always have to do a bit. You're not a monkey. I'm not? No, you're just a moron. Oh, okay. You want to get some sushi? Yeah, after I'm done filming, I'm super down. All right, if you need me, I'll be over here bare knuckle boxing Other Mike. Bye. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start this You Can Solo That explanation by saying all of this does not change in the solo game. The solo game is very, very, very similar, darn near identical to a normal game. So I'm not going to set all this up because none of it matters. This doesn't change, and this game takes like 30 minutes to set up, so screw all this. Just know this is the same. And now you may ask yourself, well, Nick, if it's all the same, why don't you just say that instead of artfully stacking all these things in this haphazard manner? And I did it because I wanted to be dramatic, Mom! All right, so this is the official start of the solo gameplay for Feast for Odin. As I said in the previous part, the gameplay is pretty much exactly the same as a normal game, with the exception of a few little things, and so we'll go over the setup right now. So you set up your board normally. You can still play a long game, which is 7 rounds, or a short game, which is 6 rounds if you want to. We're gonna go ahead and set up for a long game because that's what most people play. You're still gonna get your 3 weapons and your little mead, and you're still gonna get one of these starting occupation cards. Now, it does say in the rules that you can choose these if you want to. So if you wanna go through and you wanna focus on like one thing during the game, you're like, you know what, I really wanna focus on like ships. I wanna focus on building ships. You can go through the starter occupations and find one that's kind of conducive to that goal and pick one if you want to, or you can do it random how you usually do in a normal game. So now you can see the main difference is there are 2 different player colors. We have red and then we have yellow here. And that is because you are going to be using 2 different colors the whole time. This is not like you and an AI player. It's only you in the game, but you have an interesting like self-blocking kind of mechanism. So you're going to choose one of the colors and put them in the thing place right here. You're going to put 5. And then over here, there's a little spot that I never really noticed called the waiting space. And this is for the solo game. So you're going to take 5 of the other color and put them over here. And then on the normal spots where you put Vikings, you usually put out 7 Vikings here, you're going to put one of your starting color, the one in the thing place, in this case it's red. You're going to put 1 on the number 1 spot, and then you're going to put 2 of the other color, and then 2 of the original color, and then 2 of the other, 2 original, 2 other, 2 original, just like that. So it goes 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And then whatever color is over here, you're gonna have an extra worker of that type that you're just gonna throw out of the game. You're not gonna need it in this one. And this is set up like this because each round you're gonna switch what color of worker you are using. Ultimately, they're still all yours, so it's not like you're playing your opponent's turn. It's just you have to switch back and forth from each color, and I'm gonna explain why in the gameplay part right now. So the gameplay is pretty much exactly how it is in the normal game. You are going to take your workers at the beginning of the round. You are always going to get a new worker just like you do. And then you're going to take the workers and put them out wherever you want. Like I'm going to get some fish and I'm going to go ahead and get a cow right here. And I'm going to go upgrade some stuff. And then I'm going to turn some flax into some stuff. And then I'm going to go ahead and go up here and get a whaling ship. Cool. All those are out there now, good to go. And then you go ahead and finish out the round per normal. You have to feast, you get your bonuses, you get your income, all that kind of stuff is exactly the same. Now here is where it changes. Now normally at the very last part, what you do is you take all the workers back off the board. But in the solo game, you don't. You leave this color of worker on the board. Then you take your other color, bring them over to the thing place, and then start your round again. And you start your round by getting more Vikings. In this case, you're getting 2 because 2 rounds have gone by, so you're always gonna get 2 from now on out. The first round, you only get 1. But now you have these right here, and you can put them out wherever you want. Now, the problem is, you now are blocking yourself. You cannot go to these spots just like in a normal game. If someone blocked a spot, you then can't take it. But in this case, you're blocking yourself. So you're like, oh, darn, I can't go there. Oh, well, I'll go upgrade, I'll get some beans and stuff like that. I'll go hunting, and then I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to go pillaging, and I'm going to do this stuff right here. I'm going to do this right here, and then I'm going to do this right here. Hey, wonderful. Okay, this round is done. You finish out the round per normal, you get your income, you feast, you do all that sort of stuff. Great, great, great. And now what you do is you look at the next color available, and that is going to be red, and the red ones are going to come over here, and then you're going to take all of that color off the board. And then boom, now you have the correct amount of workers and you can go again. And you go, I pull out here, and then you bring the yellow over, then you turn the yellow off, and then these are blocking spots, and then you keep going again. You keep going again. You keep going back and forth until the game ends. So the game, you're constantly blocking yourself. Other than that, that's it. The whole game is exactly the same otherwise. You're just constantly blocking yourself and switching between colors, and that is it. The gameplay scores in the exact same way, and that's all to be said. The solo game is super, super simple, super easy. And that is how you solo Feast for Odin. So that was, bang, a Feast for Odin. A Feast for Odin solo edition. So here's the thing. It's really good. It's really good because it's just a Feast for Odin, and a Feast for Odin is an outstanding game, and I love it. But in all seriousness, it actually is really, really good. And although the game is not that different from the normal game in terms of setup, in terms of things you do, everything for the most part works exactly the same. But the little change of you having 2 different colors and you essentially blocking yourself really adds a different feel to the game. I mean, it's still very much a Feast for Odin, but there's more the planning part of it where you're like, okay, I want to do this is different than a normal game. Because in a normal game, you're like, okay, I hope to do this. But where Mike goes or Crook goes or Mary goes or wherever may change that whole plan. You're like, someone took that spot. Okay, what do I need to do now? What do I need to do now? In this, there isn't that because you're blocking yourself. So here's the thing. If I go to a spot, that spot is blocked next round. So in a normal game, I can go to a spot and the next round, I could potentially go to that spot again. In the solo game, you cannot do that. And so that's really, really interesting because the planning of the board and the planning of where you're going to put your people is always at least a round or 2 in advance because you're like, okay, if I take this spot this turn, I won't be able to do it next turn. So how am I going to get around the fact that I probably will want to do this spot again? And that is super interesting. It's so simple and yet really works. I mean, like really works way better than it should. Like it's astonishing how good it actually is. I just, from reading the rules, I'm like, oh, that's it? You just have 2 different colors and like there's literally like nothing else that's different about the game? That's weird and simple. But again, it comes down to like, simple doesn't necessarily mean bad. And a lot of times in board games, simple means good. A lot of the best games out there, the rules themselves aren't that complex. there's just a lot of strategy. There's a lot of thought into it. I tell you, a lot of people told me how good the solo game was, and I didn't believe any of them. Any of them at all. I didn't. I was like, all right, whatever. It doesn't seem very good. I know what I'm talking about. I don't. Because it's outstanding. There's not much else to say. The only thing I could say is that I wish it had a win-lose condition. If you've seen the series at all, you know that I really, really like win-lose conditions. So in the rulebook, it does say that if you score 100, that's considered a very good solo score. Because of the way you block the spots in the solo game, the scores tend to be lower. So if you score 100, that's considered very good. And now there isn't a win-lose condition. It just says, hey, if you score 100, really good job. So in my book, how I play it is, hey, if I score 100, I win. If I don't, I lose. And I wish they just put that in the rule book. Just like, I don't know, maybe you guys can help me out with this. Do you have this feeling with solo games where it's like, I always complain about not having a win-lose condition, but I could always just make one. I could be like, hey, in this case, if I don't make it to 100, that means I lose. But for me, it's like, I want it to come from them. I want it to come from the publisher and the designer. I don't know why. It ultimately doesn't make that much of a difference, but for me, that's important. And so, like, it doesn't say officially you win or lose based off that, but that's how I personally play it, because I don't like scoring tiers. I want to find out if I win or I lose. And in this case, how I play is I get to 100, I win. If I don't, I lose. But nonetheless, that is going to be it for me. Please make sure to like and share this video. We really want our channel to grow, and the best way to do that is by liking it and sharing it. And please subscribe to our channel as well. I do want to say that this game was chosen by our patrons. I put up a poll on our Patreon saying like, hey, what game do you want me to You Can Solo That next? And this is the one that won. So thank you so much to our patrons. And if you have a couple dollars you want to support us, you can go to our Patreon where we put up all sorts of polls like this on there every week. Enough with all that, though. We have been playing A Feast for Odin here on You Can Solo That on the Brothers Murph. Have a good one. Hey there, everybody. Thank you so much for watching that video. We honestly really appreciate it. We just want to take a second to remind you that we are sponsored by Restoration Games. We also play all of our games on top of Game Toppers right here, which are these beautiful luxury game tables. And you can go to Game Topper LLC to find out more and to upgrade your gaming experience. We also have a Patreon. If you have a couple shekels lying around, you like what we do, please feel free to throw them at our faces. We will not say no to them. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll catch you later. All right. Ooh. All right. Mikey, what do you want to do? You want to get Ty?
Nick!
Jesus. Oh my gosh. Big face disheveled Nick. You can't just do that.
Sorry, not sorry. What are you guys doing? You guys getting Thai food? I love Thai food. I want some. Give me some.
No, you can't have Thai food.
Why not?
No, you can't have Thai food because you don't eat food. You're not real.
You're not real.
No, I'm not dealing with you right now. I'm not dealing with you right now, okay?
I'll kill your children.
What?
What? You guys getting Thai food? What?